Welcome. This is Wakey time, probably 17. I meant to do this a few days ago on the 4th, but I've been really drowsy for a few days. I think it's just allergies. It's the only illness that I just can't seem to master control of. It does correlate with my future visitations though, so I can't complain too much. But Saturday was today. Today's Tuesday night. Saturday, I went and visited a friend who was sick in the hospital. And I told him as much as he would need to know for right now on how to heal himself and not end up in the hospital ever again. There are things I know that I do not divulge on this video podcast. But they are necessary, and I hope he listens. Nobody has yet. It's all right. It's all right. But while we were talking, in the midst of us talking, he brought up the word harbinger. He was telling me a story. The harbingers of the plague, the Black Plague, the doctors, they used to wear those beak bird masks. And they'd fill them with herbs and try to keep the disease away. I forgot to look harbinger up again. It is definitely a definition in the realm of a messenger, but the word harbinger stuck out to me right away. As any word with H-A-R, H-O-R, H-U-R, H-E-R, I have to investigate it, which I can just do when I think about it, but the harbinger. So you have H-A-R, you have the H-U-R, the her, who traveled with Aaron and Moses up the mountain. The whore, which got mistaken for W-H-O-R-E, the whore, because she was not. The H-O-R, the Mary Magdalene, Mary of Magdala. Magdala means tower. Mary of the Tower. The energy that rises with the chrism in meditation is the Kundalini. It's got many names, but there are way more symbols than there are names. So you have, for Aaron and Aaron's rod, for them to travel up the mountain, the chrism must go, the her must go, H-U-R. It's the female principle. That's why it's H-E-R when you call someone a her. You have the H-O-R, the whore, Mary of Magdala, Mary of the Tower, the female principle. So harbinger, binger, I probably don't need to explain. We've all done a little binging in our lives. But if you're talking about the Harbinger, you're binging on the the whore, the her. You're binging on that female sine waves, that chakra energy that I've explained in previous videos. Not that, people know. I mean, I'm not the guy or whatever, but so if you're binging on the har, you're doing, you're binging on this meditation, and it could be for one meditation, but it's still a binge, because some of us purge, har purger. But Harbinger got me thinking about what it really means. And I'm sure there's a connection between those doctors of the Black Plague and their story. And I was going to do a little more research, but I really wanted to do this video 3 days ago, and I'm already, getting to the point of no return. So, I was going to do this video on the 4th. May the 4th be with you. I grew up on Star Wars my whole life. Man, George Lucas did a number on us, didn't he? But Star Wars is based in mythology. And George Lucas he studied mythology when he went to college, when he went to film school. And I don't know how much intentionally was put into Star Wars, or if he just soaked up maybe as much as I have. I don't know the guy, but I'll lay some money on the table that I know a bit more about mythology. No disrespect to George Lucas, but he does owe me. So, but the mythology is there. And like I said from the get-go, from the first video, the mythology stories are about our bodies, our minds, how they connect to the cosmos, which involves meditation. So, every mythological story has a hero. And the hero in every mythological story is you and I. It represents us. Because psychologically, the stories are about overcoming your mind. So we would have to be the hero. And maybe all this is my interpretation. There could be others. When I talked to AI about my interpretation, it backed it up, but it did give me a few other ones. That shows you how much I get to talk to people. I gotta talk to AI about Star Wars, but no, I got friends. Anyway. The hero of Star Wars is Han Solo. Han Solo represents you and I, each one of us. And for the most part, our ego. Left brain, but really pretty much all of us. We do start out with a good amount of ego, and every one of us has a beast side, the left side, the animal nature, and that's represented by Chewbacca. That's why he's a co-pilot. Moses and Aaron, and the her. Well, who's the her? It's female principles, the princess. It's the princess in the tower. It's the princess in the cave that knights would go and have to battle the dragon to rescue the princess. It's all about meditation. And it's the same with Star Wars. Like the Death Star. The sacrum plate is the upside down pentagram. And of course, if you the right verted star, I don't know if that's technical, but you know, the star, the Messiah, the star on top of the Christmas tree, the upside down star, the Death Star is at the sacrum. In fact, the root chakra is the moon, because each one of the chakras is a different one of the original 7 planets. That's no moon, it's a space station. But the root chakra is the moon, and I say that is the Death Star, where the upside down Death Star is the sacrum. The sacred place. And I don't know about you, but I got a tractor beam, man. It's pulling me in all the time. So you have to rescue the princess. You got to bring that energy with you. So, stories does not start out with the hero. And you can make a case for Luke being the hero, but, you know, this is my show. Luke represents the sun star energy, the Jesus character. Hercules. You could say Hercules was the hero, but we'll get to that. That's another thing. But remember, from the root chakra to the throat chakra, this is the desert. So Luke's going to be, the story begins in the desert. And Luke is the sun star energy. Your spirit, your spiritual side, your photon, your light, your life force. And it always has a twin sister. It's like Apollo and Artemis. So you have Luke and Leia. You know, I mean, Luke's a name for the sun. We go back to Jordan Maxwell with, you know, Horus was the sun god in Egypt. Horus was the sun god in Egypt, and he rose in the morning and he walked across the sky 12 steps. The 12 hours, the 12 Horuses. And then at night, he would go to the dark side and he would fight the Dark Lord, Set, or Sith, if you will. So Horus would go fight the Dark Lord, Set, who was also his father, because the son then was born from him. So Horus took 12 steps across the sky. Another name for the sun is Lu. In Latin, it became Luke. So you have Luke Skywalker that takes 12 steps across the sky. And where did he go to fight the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader, who's also his father? Cloud City. Where does the sun fight the Dark Lord at night? In the clouds in the sky, in Cloud City. And if you look at a picture of Cloud City, you have the toroid field, torus field, coming off of our brain. Right below that is bottom half of a brain shape and then a spine. And that's what Cloud City looks like. And Luke confronted Vader right there in the head, in the brain, in the consciousness, because if you remember, Luke fell down the spine. And that's what we're talking about, you know. Because the battle is consciousness, and it's fought here in Cloud City. So, you have the sun star energy, Luke. You need a teacher. You need teachings for you to learn this stuff. So you have Obi-Wan, the teacher, the teachings. Now, at the beginning of the movie, R2-D2, C-3PO fall from the sky in the escape pod. C-3PO represents gold. God brings the gold, the angles of light. God is gold, the golden God. And I found a gold Buddha statue that resembles C-3PO. I'm not positive on which one was made first, but C-3PO is definitely a Buddha archetype. R2-D2 silver dome. This is the silver dome because silver is the most conductive metal to store data in, and that's what we do. Now, so the silver and gold of God, which you would need, and in your mind, deep in your mind, is the data, the plans of the Death Star and how to destroy it. The movie begins with those rolling letters on the screen. And it says, it is a period of civil war. Because it's within you. Civil war is within the boundaries of one's own nation. And this is the nation that the Bible is talking about. It's not talking about people, or a race of people, or a group of people and their nation. It's talking about your body and your mind. So, the Death Star is an armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. And like I said before, each one of the chakras is a planet. Arms, anywhere it says arms in the Bible and probably elsewhere, it's talking about the chakras. Armor. Put on the full armor of God. Emotionally charged, your chakras, to the top, the full armor of God. Is emotions. Is the city of emotions, the city of sin, the moon god, or Inanna, whoever you want to consider. the place that Abraham ruled before God told him to get out of there. Get out of your emotions, or I can't talk to you. The armored space station. So the desert, your sun star energy begins in the desert. Now there's a real place that the planet's named after, Tatooine. It's in Tunisia, and it means eyes, water spring. That chrism rising is the water spring. Okay? In the desert. The battle always begins in the desert. The story always begins in the desert because your energy's down here. The root, the moon, the sacred space, the sacrum, the third chakra, the place of the sun, which must be raised to the sun chakra and above. The name for Tatooine is F-O-U-M, Foam Tatooine, mouth of the springs, and this is the mouth of the springs, the desert. Interesting, it's F-O-U-M, foam, but F-O-A-M, foam. Aphrodite, which is the third chakra, is said to be born of the foam. That's what her name means, Aphrodite, born of the foam. And it's interesting that the chrism that rises up, the foamy reproductive fluid, turns into electrical energy, where Aphrodite is the third chakra. I did notice the Star Destroyers are not really triangles or pyramids. They are elongated, one way more than the other, but they are cubes. And maybe I'll do a video on the cubes. C-3PO wants to know where R2-D2 is. R2-D2, where are you? And when R2-D2 is going into the escape pod, C-3PO says, you can't go in there. You're not permitted. You will be deactivated. For sure. Now, if R2-D2 represents the silver dome, the mind, the brain, then he's going to the escape pod. Meditation would say that, yeah, he will be deactivated. Your brain, you go to no thought. Jesus said no thought 5 times, 5 senses, no thought. Eventually in meditation, you go to no thought. All this gets shut down. Egypt gets destroyed. Babylon gets destroyed. The flood. Pick a story. I'm using the Bible a lot tonight. We'll get into other stories, but pick a story. And C-3PO is a Buddha archetype. We seem to be made to suffer. It is our lot in life. And there's other examples. This probably won't be the first Star Wars video. Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi are very in tune with the mythological, meditative aspects. I don't know about the other movies. I'll have to rewatch them. C-3PO says, will this never end? Buddha, will this never end? Will we just keep reincarnating forever? The suffering will never end. Folks, you can end the suffering right now. I know it's difficult, and you're going to have your hard days and your better days, even the more you go down this road, but you do not need to suffer. You don't. You create your own reality. You can change your thoughts. I don't know the exact quote, but I remember KRS-One taught me that you can change your mind, you can change your thoughts. It just takes time and effort. You don't want to do it? It's fine. You don't want to heal yourself and never get sick again, never have to go to the hospital, have all your ailments go away. That's great. But I can't do it for you. I can just pass on the instructions. I did notate moisture farmers. MERS is water. Farmers, moisture farmers, drawing moisture out of the air of the desert. It's constantly there. It's constantly there. They even mentioned that the tractor beam on the Death Star couples to the main reactor from 7 locations. The tractor beam of the Death Star is coupled to the main reactor at 7 locations. That's the end of my notes. So I know the story. So, you know, you have to rescue the princess. Because even though the energy's down here physically, it all happens within it's all about consciousness. It happens up here, within your field. Oh, another thing about the field, the Taurus field, is anything below the heart chakra is red. Anything above is blue. In the energy field, the electromagnetic toroid field of your body. So when they pick out the red droid, the lower nature-minded droid, it has a bad motivator. And you need a good motivator to motivate you to go down these roads. So, they do get the droid with the Death Star plans that has a good motivator, and he's blue. Something else I noticed. I started watching again last night. What were we talking about? So you got your spiritual side, your sun star energy, you got your teacher, the old teachings, Obi-Wan. You have your mind, you have the silver dome, you have God's influence, the interpreter, translator who knows all the languages. You go get the hero with his beast co-pilot. See, every aspect of you that you need to go on a journey of meditation and learn the ways of the Force, like your father before you. But you need to regulate that electricity that goes up the spine and opens up the chakras, which is a female principle. I didn't design all this. We're going to talk to God about the way He designed the universe, but the princess is imprisoned. 2187. Cell block 2187. 3 plus 8 is 11. Plus 7 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9, which means consciousness. So where are you rescuing the princess? Physically, from your root chakra, from the Death Star, from the space station. But consciously, cell block 2187. Because it's all happening in your mind. Triggering the body to do what it needs to do. So the tractor beam pulls the Millennium Falcon in. Falcon is a bird. Birds represent spirit. Any bird, any type of bird, figure it out. Go read about any time it mentions a bird, you know, in the Bible or elsewhere. It's talking about your spirit. Millennium Falcon, Millennium 1,000 years. We could probably do a whole video on Millennium Falcon. I don't want to do all the work. I mean, I'll do more later, but for now, you know, go figure her out. This label. There's some blue masking tape on this tote. It just says "this box" written on it. Oh my God. So anyway, they go to the Death Star. They have to rescue the princess. So you rescue the princess. You start your meditation, and the female principle and the chrism start to rise. Consciously, you enter a land of garbage. Into the garbage chute, flyboy. Into the trash compactor, where we just put all our garbage and just compact and compact and compact. And when you start meditating, you have to go sift through all that garbage, all that clutter, and clean up your house. And it's a hoarder situation. But with the help of God and your mind, talking through the proverbial comlink, they help you get through the trash compactor. Now, when you start a meditation, you don't need the teachings anymore, because you're doing. You've learned enough that now you're doing. You're doing what the teachings are. So the old teacher dies, sacrifices itself so you can act and move forward in the meditation. So while he faces the Dark Lord for you, those teachings give you the power that the Dark Lord can't touch you, because you know the knowledge now. And you've started the meditation. And you're rebels. R-E, it's another spelling for Ra, the sun god in Egypt. Baal is the name of the sun god. Baal, you know. So the Ra Baal base. In A New Hope, it is a pyramid an ancient pyramid. And beginning with the Great Pyramid, pyramids represent our brain. The whole cutout diagram of the Great Pyramid is a diagram of our brain and all the parts. And if we need to do a video on that, we can. I feel like it's been done. You can go find it. But same as Solomon's temple, the pyramid represents the brain. So the Rob elves are hiding in the temple, planning on destroying the Death Star. Han leaves, takes his money and runs, which your ego has to leave. It has to take its money and run. And it better come back a hero, because if it comes back as your money-hungry ego again, not that money's bad, it's just these are parables, these are proverbs. But yeah, Han has to come back as the hero, because it's not about killing your ego, get rid of your ego. It's about renewing. It's about reprogramming. It's about evolving and changing and becoming a better, using the power better for better things. And you need the ego for that. You just need it to be transformed, which happens in the movie. And in the end, they're back in the temple celebrating. And they get gold medals placed around their neck. Now, alchemy, all those poor, miserable people tried for a long time, many, many centuries, to turn lead into gold and whatever they thought they were doing, until they realized it's not about real metals. Your chakras, the modals, metals, you're turning those base metals into gold. And that's what alchemy really is. So for them to get gold metals, modals, in the end, makes sense. And of course, the brain, the silver dome, R2-D2, is repaired and restored. I mean, the reason he gets shut down in the X-Wing during the battle in the trenches of the Death Star is because when you get to that point in meditation, your brain shuts down. But then in the end, when you win and you've destroyed the Death Star, the first one, because it always rebuilds, your brain is renewed. R2-D2 gets repaired, it gets renewed. And everything's well again. Until it isn't, because the Empire will always rebuild. So, and it's not about destroying this other side of you. It's about balance and integrating it. You know, they talked about the one who will bring balance to the Force. And it ended up being a Dark Lord of the Sith. Because you need all of it to be balanced. But it makes for a good story. And the ancients knew that, and George Lucas knew that. George is the name for the sun. St. George and the Dragon. Obviously, Lucas, name for the sun. The Luke Skywalker. And this is looking pretty good. I've got ideas already for most of this. This wasn't planned though. It's good to start my ground. And I don't know what this will be, but I'm going to hand it off to the city, let them display it when I'm done. And I don't know what that will be either. And we'll keep doing this. And we'll do more Star Wars. Hopefully you have a good 4th of May. May the 5th. My father's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. I was also told it was a portal for change. And May the 6th. May the Sith be with you. This is its Wakey times 17. The Harbinger of Star Wars. Harbinger of Star Wars. Harbinger of Star Wars. Oh, I had to. I've been thinking about that for 2 days. Take care, everybody. May the Force be with you. Always.